Hi Leo, this is Morgan with Compass Rose Astrology, and today we are going to be going through your astrology and tarot chat for the month of May 2023. And in these videos, I go through all the transits that we are going to be experiencing, then I tie it in with a tarot reading and then a oracle pull at the end for just to kind of tie in any of the universe's final messages for you after all of the talk through the transits and the tarot. And just so you know, this is a general reading. I do this based off of the rising sign. So we have over here Leo rising. It's in the first house. It's on the ascendant. I do recommend though that you watch your video that pertains to either your sun or your moon sign, because depending on what is happening this month, there might be something that's more activated in your birth chart that is hitting your sun or your moon. So in these general readings, just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And also, I do apologize. This is a different kind of setup we have going on this week. We're going to be back to our regularly scheduled video and setup next month. And so I hope you don't mind bearing with me here. Which also means that I don't have any of my cleansing tools that I usually use. But I did pre-shuffle with the intent to bring in all clear, constructive messages here for you today, Leo. So I really hope that with the intent that I put into this reading, that it comes through clear and loud and clear for you. Let's just start off first with a kind of talk about the different transits that we could be experiencing this month. I'll try and bring this a little closer so you can see. And first and foremost, one of the biggest things that's happening is that Pluto, which entered your 7th house of Aquarius, about a month ago, I want to say, maybe several weeks ago, Pluto is going to be going retrograde on May 1st. And this means that it's going to be moving back towards Capricorn, your 6th house. And it was here for, a really, really long time. And Pluto is basically going to be bouncing between Aquarius and Capricorn for the better part of the next year. And then it will finally go into Aquarius for a full 20 years. And what this means is that you're going to be feeling some shift between your 7th and 6th house topics, which are your 7th house is about relationships, how you relate to the other people, leveling up in relationships, how you see other people. That's a big part of it. And then the 6th house, this has a lot to do with if you have any sort of power over others. So it could be as a boss or an employer, or it could be even your animals, like pets, people you take care of, or animals that you take care of, and that you have a responsibility for, basically. And it could also be physical ailments. So we'll see if that pops up for you. One thing we do have happening is we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and that's going to be happening on the 5th, and that is activating your 4th house. And so I think that's going to be pretty powerful for you, because the 4th house is an angular house, and that means that there is a lot of power here. So we'll see if that shows up in the tarot. Let's see. So your planet, the sun, is going to be moving from the 10th house to the 11th house. It will be conjunct with Uranus this month, which is pretty powerful. So that could be something that might be activating in your chart. The 11th house might be when the sun and Venus are going to be getting a little bit closer to each other. But also, last but not least, we do have Mars moving out of Cancer and moving into your 1st house. And I think that's actually, I think it's a fun transit. When Mars is in my 1st house, I usually feel like I have a little bit more strength and courage and bravery. But in addition, there could be a tendency to kind of overdo things if you have a fitness routine or something. If you are an athletic person, there could be a tendency to overdo things and possibly injure yourself. So please don't do that. Okay, yeah, so let's just jump right in for your tarot reading, Leo. I'm incredibly excited to do this video for you. I'm very happy to have you here. Let me just move this out of the way. Okay, so what has Leo been experiencing lately? Okay. Interesting. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So first of all, we have the Page of Swords, we have the Six of Wands, and then we have the Five of Wands. So the way I'm reading this, I do feel like this is activating between your 9th and 10th in your first house, and maybe your 12th even, because there's a lot of Jupiter and Mars energy, and the way that these are both moving, they're both moving out of their respective houses. So Jupiter is over here hanging out in your 9th house and will be going into your 10th house by the end of the month, and I think that's actually really incredible. That's bringing in a lot of good energy here for you in your 10th house of career. Let's see. I feel like there's a period of time that you've gone through recently where you were feeling really, the Page of Swords, she is an air card, the Princess of Swords, and this indicates a lot of mental stimulation, a lot of curiosity, and a sense of wanting to not be restrained. There's a go-getter attitude. I feel like this is something that you've been kind of pushing against, like pushing on, like wanting to move forward, wanting to keep going, having this kind of like restless, like untethered energy that just needs to be expressed. And recently, I think that there was something that you had to do that kind of put you in this anxious energy that actually really, really benefited you. And I'm wondering if maybe you're not seeing that just yet. But either way, there was just this situation recently that you had to, that caused a lot of anxiety and doubt, I'm thinking, and also just a feeling of wanting to get through and just get over it and move on, even though it was something that actually made you really happy. This could be a situation with, like, if you're not a good public speaker, this could be something where you had to do something for, it could have been work where you had to present something, but the way you came out of it was a lot better than you expected, and a lot of people actually grew to respect you a little bit more. Could also be that maybe you were in a situation where you had to be a little bit vulnerable, basically, with it could be with a partner, because Pluto is over here hanging out in your 7th house, making things a little interesting for you, and possibly maybe you even met someone, or someone reached out to you that made your heart jump a little bit, that you weren't expecting to get this feeling from them. But it's overall a very good feeling, and it could lead to something really, really nice that I think you're just not seeing quite yet. And what else is Leo going through right now? Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Leo, this is pretty incredible. So we have the 10 of Wands, we have the Star card, and then the Chariot card. So your first major arcana cards are coming out in your current energy and your current experience. And I'm seeing that maybe whatever happened to you recently that came out like in your favor, that caused a little bit of anxiety and like unsettled, kind of restless, like, oh, I gotta kind of get out of this, is because it's something you just weren't expecting. It's outside of your comfort zone, but it's also something that really could spell something really good for you. And I think you have this side to you, Leo, that could indicate that you've been through a lot, honestly. And sometimes I think there's a bit of a sense of like overwhelm or just doubt or just being kind of jaded a little bit, and makes you think that just maybe, you know, I'm not going to get my hopes up, basically. And, you know, it's kind of a sense of protection for you. And it also keeps you from having to go through all of these like really annoying feelings and like situations that you just don't want to be in anymore after like going through it over and over and getting your hopes up and thinking like, oh, hey, maybe this person is the right one for me, or hey, maybe this job is the right one for me, and then like it really just not working out. And I think you've kind of gotten to the point where you're just not getting your hopes up, basically. But whatever has happened recently is something that is kind of like a little bit of a bright spark in your life. And whenever I get the Chariot card, there's always this indication of success and yes, and go for it, and you're on the right path, and this is right for you, and you are in your own power, and you're doing an incredible job. There's this these indications on the image of the moon. This is about being really kind of embodying the path that you want and the choices that you want, and having hope for something that otherwise you might not have really striven. I think that's the right word. But this is a really positive, optimistic energy heading towards you and kind of enveloping you right now, Leo. And I think that maybe even with Mars heading into your first house, that's going to give you the courage and the bravery to really look this energy in the eye. Let's see what you have coming up for you. Oh, okay. What do you have coming up for you? This is, okay, that's a lot. I just need one card, Spirit. One or two cards, please. What does Leo have coming in? Okay. Oh my goodness. This is fun. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, Spirit directed me to look at the bottom of the deck, and we have the Three of Hearts here. Three of Hearts, oh my gosh, Three of Swords, and I was just staring at the heart here. And this indicates that you've gone through a lot of heartbreak, loss, and just grief, Leo. I think that you've been through so much, and it's really made you kind of feel defeated sometimes. I know that you put on a really brave face, and you present yourself in the way that you know people want you to be, and sometimes that's a really hard thing to kind of come to terms with and to be okay with, because it's not fulfilling to wear a mask a lot of the time. But there's this heartbreak and loss and just sorrow really has stuck with you for a long time. And I think that the purpose of this card coming out for you is not only to validate the fact that yes, you've gone through a lot in your life, and no one can truly understand exactly what you've gone through, even though there might be some people that have gone through like really like similar situations, but you have a story, Leo, and it's important to recognize that and to let it be part of you and not let it like define you. And the reason I say that is because we have the Three Swords in the heart here, and the identifying factor here is that the heart's not bleeding, you know? It's not losing more. It's not dying. It's not going to end. Like, it is wounded. This is a part of the heart now. And a lot of the sorrow and the heartbreak that you've experienced is a part of your past. It's a part of your history, and it will, you know, feed into decisions about the future, but it will not continue to hurt you if you do not let it. And it doesn't have to be a continuous, painful loss for you. It can be something that is acknowledged and understood and respected, but it doesn't have to define everything about your future. There was this quote earlier that said that one of my coworkers actually gave me, and it was along the lines of, you can't be the person you want to be if you keep making the choices of the person you used to be, or something. It was something along those lines, and I think like the sentiment of that is basically saying that there's a new chapter and a new wave in your life coming up, Leo, and a big part of that is seen here in the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Devil card. And I think what this means is that you have someone coming into your life who is, if you believe in twin flames or soulmates, I think that the Devil card is actually showing this person that they're going to be so magnetic to you and you to them, and they're going to be a part of your lives. And whether you are showing up as the Queen of Swords or you're showing up as the Knight of Wands, I'm kind of thinking you're the Knight of Wands because this is a fire card and you are a fire sign. There's a lot of passion, a lot of moving towards each other and facing each other and wanting each other here. There's kind of a little bit of a warning here that since we do have the Devil card, don't let insecurities and vices and obsession and control take a seat in this relationship. There's a bit of a warning here because I think when you have two people that are like truly bonded and their like souls like call out to each other, it can sometimes be a little destructive in some ways because that bond just like can be all-consuming. And I think that the universe is saying you're finding a perfect match for you, someone that truly loves you and is on the same level about commitment and independence as well, because the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Swords are both very independent cards, but they also have a lot of respect and courtesy towards others. The Knight of Wands is a bit reckless sometimes, which is kind of mirrors this energy that was coming up in the past. So just there's just this warning to don't be afraid to take things a little bit slower, and don't let these vices and old habits and just don't allow yourself to be all consumed. But there is a really wonderful partnership coming in for you that could be really, really beneficial, and it could be really long term because Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for such a long time. So and it's just, there's definitely this acknowledgement from Spirit that you've been through a lot and you deserve wonderful experiences and happiness and a loving committed relationship. And if you are in a relationship, I think this is indicating that that perhaps there was a rocky instance in your relationship that you've been in, and maybe there was a moment where things were really vulnerable between the two of you and it made you want to walk away or something, because it was just really uncomfortable. But there is a feeling of leveling up here and going forward and going the distance, especially with a Chariot card. But there is, again, another warning to just don't be consumed by the material world. Make sure that this person that you're looking to start a life with or level up with is a good person, basically, and is good for you, and that you're good for them. Okay, let's see if we can get an oracle card. Oh, wow. Okay. So it's interesting that these two cards are very independent, and I did mention that. So let's see. I'm going to read to you from the Winterseer Animal Companion book, and you got the Goat Oracle card. The keywords are independence, wildness, temper, fertility, goal, achievement, and mischief. Goats are independent-minded and good at surviving in harsh conditions. Goats have long been associated with wildness and fertility, and they are linked to the gods who embody these characteristics. In classical myth, they are sacred to Artemis and other hunting goddesses, as well as Dionysus, the god of wine and carousing. Pan, the Greek deity who ruled pastures, forests, flocks, and herds, is strongly associated with goats and is celebrated for his licentious and lustful behavior. In Norse myth, Thor's chariot is pulled by two very powerful goats. Holy cow, talking about chariots. Called, I'm going to butcher this, but Tangrisnir. In Old Norse, it means teeth bearer or snarler, and Tangjoster. In Old Norse, it means teeth grinder. Every night they would kill the goats and eat them, and then resurrect them from their bones in the morning. They would then resume their employment as chariot pullers. In Kilorglin, I'm so sorry, Ireland, goats are celebrated every August during the Puck Fair. During this ancient celebration, a wild male goat, known as a puck, is crowned king of the town for 3 days before being returned to his normal life in the Irish hills. Goats are renowned for their mischievous nature and, likely because of this, have always been associated with magic, dark forces, and the devil. Holy cow. We can't even make this up, guys. Sorry. And the mischievous fairy spirits called puka often take the form of a black goat, and the devil is thought to appear in the form of a goat with burning eyes for coals. There is a dichotomy present in our dealings with goats. We celebrate their utility and resilience while we also vilify them for their wild and woolly natures. In a reading, the goat is a resourceful and resilient creature who can be a useful archetype for entrepreneurs, independent thinkers, and the ambitious, or those who would like to be. The goat is inherently driven to climb and compete with others to be king of the hill. The spirit of the goat urges us to fight our way to the top and push past the competition. The bounding, joyful energy of the goat encourages us to set goals and to smash them. Channel this useful spirit when you need energy and inspiration, and connect to the wildness in yourself and let it push you to achieve new things and inspire others. The goat also reminds us to stay connected to the sensual realm, to value our bodies and physical health as well as our intellect. Are you neglecting your sexuality? Are you feeling disenfranchised from your physical self? To be at our best, we have to care for ourselves holistically. The mind suffers when the body is neglected, and the body suffers when the spirit is neglected. Always remember the wisdom of balance. In its negative aspect, the archetype is pushy, aggressive, and unable to work in a team. The wildness at the heart of the goat can be a wonderful source of strength, but left unchecked, it can become destructive and counterproductive. Escaped farm goats quickly revert to a feral state. A reminder that if we want to live and work with others, we have to control our impulses and be considerate of the systems and structures around us. To accomplish our goals and have fruitful relationships, we must balance the wildness with caution and compassion. In its positive aspect, the goat reminds us that sex can be a wonderful, bonding, even sacred part of our lives, but we should also be cautious of overindulgence or of allowing our sexual urges to drive us towards unhealthy or destructive behaviors, relationships, or situations. This warning can apply to other excesses, drinking, drugs, overeating, or even an addiction to work. Overindulgence of the flesh, obsessions, addiction, or compulsion can wreck relationships and jeopardize our health and safety. As with other aspects of life, we must seek balance. Sex is healthy when coupled with respect and care for the self as well as others. Competition is healthy, but should be tempered with kindness and generosity. Mischievousness can become cruel, and blind ambition can be incredibly destructive. Embrace the spirit of the goat with caution. Oh my gosh. That's wild. What a reading, Leo. This is incredible. All of this just ties in so well. I think Universe had a really, 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 really strong message for you today, and I really hope that this finds you and that this resonates with you. And I would love it if you shared any stories in the chat so that I can talk to you if there's anything astrologically or tarot related that kind of resonated with you. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for watching. I truly, truly appreciate you, and I'm so excited to do these readings for you. And I look forward to our next video. Bye.